There are some memorable characters in Pride and Prejudice. In this next section, our panel and the actors themselves look in more depth at how these parts are developed.
I think one of the great things about the novel is that there's such a variety of characters who, good and bad characters are rich, and good and bad characters have been poor. So nothing is too crude or too simple, because every family's got attractive people in it and unattractive people in it. The Bingleys have got good and bad characters in them, and then of course, you know, the Bennet family are really divided.
Modern audience can immediately identify with what goes on in the Bennet household. I mean, the problems with the sisters are exasperated by the fact that Mrs. Bennet has favourites, most clearly Lydia, who I guess is most like her, or probably was most like her when she was young.
I thought she's such fun, and I just wrote her lots of extra lines in which she's just being vulgar and flopping about and just saying the first thing that comes into her head and just getting everybody dancing and so on. I don't know how much I like her in real life, but I certainly like. And I love the way that Julie Sawalha plays her in the adaptation too. Again, easy to quite show that at an adaptation. That here's this little girl who, well, not a little girl. I mean, she's a big girl, but she'd be doing GCSEs or something.
That's right.
And in fact, what she's doing is rollicking about with a lot of soldiers, half of whom want to seduce her.
Absolutely, and Mr.
And
Bennet,
in fact, Wickham does.
as the father, allowing her to go off to Brighton, where there's going to be seemingly no supervision.
Soldiers.
No, that's right.
A whole camp full of soldiers.
I remember when I was a girl. I cried for 2 days together when Colonel Miller's regiment went away. I thought I should have broke my heart.
Well, I'm sure I shall break mine. And I.
There, my dears. But your father is determined to be cruel.
I confess I am. I'm sorry to be breaking so many hearts, but I've not the smallest intention of yielding.
I shall not break my heart, Papa. The pleasures of Brighton would have no charms for me. I should infinitely prefer a book.
Oh, Mrs. Forster says she plans to go sea bathing. I'm sure I should love to go sea bathing.
A little sea bathing would set me up forever.
And yet I am unmoved. Well, I'm glad you'll come back, Lizzie. I'm glad you'll come back, Jane.
Oh, I want to go to Brighton.
The camps at Brighton are talked about as a social opportunity for Lydia. That's all she can construct them as. But they were notorious and would, of course, be recognisable as such to a contemporary audience, because they would know what the reputation of women who hung around the camps, what that reputation would be like. So Lydia is associating herself, as in fact she does in the text, with dubious women. She becomes the example of what happens to you when you go too far.
Jane must be a difficult part to play because she's the quieter one. She is the secondary love interest that you get in a lot of stage comedy as well. There's often a more romantic couple who are sweeter and nicer and simpler, and she's got to play that part. But in fact, she is more than that. I mean, I think there's a feeling of that she's got a lot of sound good sense, and once or twice she gets it more right than Lizzie does. She certainly spots Darcy's interest, for instance, quite early. She wants Elizabeth to take people more seriously than she does, and really, basically, that's really quite good advice, isn't it? And I think that her near tragedy does add a real dimension of feeling to the book, that she could have lost her man completely on the grounds that more manipulative people squeeze her out of, appear to be on the point of squeezing out of her plot.
And her really heroic struggle against falling into depression and melancholia really is extremely likeable, that she's just very, very determined not to die of a broken heart, as it were.
You are not happy, Jane. Pains me to see it. It's just that I'm afraid I still do prefer Mr. Bingley to any other man I've ever met, and Lizzie, I did believe he... Well, I was mistaken, that is all. I'm resolved to think of him no more. There. Enough. I shall be myself again, as if I had never set eyes on him. Truly, Lizzie, I promise I shall be well. I shall be myself again. I shall be perfectly content.
Jane is not superficial, but she's very straightforward. She doesn't have any prejudices or pride. She's a good soul. She's very angelic. She sees the best in everybody. And she's very kind. She's a sort of perfect person almost, or an ideal person. And she's meant to be very beautiful and charming and sweet. It's very difficult to play nowadays in a way. There's no cynicism or edge or side to her at all. She's very simple and straightforward.
I see Elizabeth as independent and very strong-minded, witty. She's got a wonderful sense of humour, great intelligence, and she thinks her integrity is perfect. She does have integrity. She's just a bit misguided on the prejudice bit.
Lizzie is the most extraordinary character. In every way, she sort of predates a whole list of very individual, free-thinking ladies.
She's a rebel, she's feisty, she's cheeky, she's witty, she's clever, she's pretty.
She has so many different aspects and so many layers. I think she's got a giddy side and a solemn side. She's you know, she's impertinent and cheeky, but she's also extremely sensible and judicious.